Hello everybody, this is Kasia Kynes, your favorite functional nutritionist, and today I want to play. I have something very special. We're going to talk about the green superfoods in your kitchen. Who knew? We're not talking about kale and collard greens and all those wonderful greens and spirulina or chlorella. Yes, they're very famous, I agree. But I want to talk about the small, tiny little heroes that you may use as garnish, or you may not use them at all, or you may probably have them in your fridge and they're wilting and you throw them away. You've done it, I've done it. So today I'm going to talk about 4 of them. 3 of them I have with me because I just did the shopping. I'm going to show you what I have. Parsley, organic. There's my dill weed, you can see, all chopped yesterday. And my green onion. See? I see it this way sold in Asian supermarkets. They must be doing something right. So, I'm going to tell you today what you want to know about the green dill, the green onion, the dill weed, the parsley, and also cilantro, and why they're so powerful and forgotten. And also I'll teach you how not to discard them, how to save them, how to spare them, how to prevent them from wilting, because I've certainly done that many times, and that's okay, we learn. And also I'll give you some fantastic ideas or how I incorporate them in my kitchen, how you can do the same. And there will be a text below the video that has a lot of those tips that you can use. So you ready? All right, so why do I love them? Any green you eat, any green leafy vegetable will have a perfect ratio of magnesium and calcium for your bones, for example, for other functions. So think about cows grazing on grass. They get a lot out of the grass. They don't take calcium supplements, they don't eat dairy themselves, they don't eat cheese, but they have the grass in their intake. So the greens are very powerful in general. They also have chlorophyll. It's the green pigment. It has antioxidant qualities. It's identical to hemoglobin, except hemoglobin carries oxygen and the chlorophyll actually carries magnesium. And if you want to check my post on magnesium, you're going to see how extremely beneficial that is. It also calms the immune system and the body because it's anti-anxiety. Magnesium has very many benefits, so it's wonderful that chlorophyll is able to do that. Chlorophyll has many functions. I know of a lot of people, and sometimes if I remember, I do the same thing. If I fly on a plane, I'm going to take some chlorophyll, I'm going to take some green powder, whether it's spirulina, chlorella, whether it's more parsley or more cilantro. I want to make sure I have a little bit more to kind of help me with the radiation when I fly on the plane. If you have x-rays, if you want to protect your liver function, if you want to promote your detoxification, and you want a little bit more protection from cancer, chlorophyll is pretty well studied. Although there's a lot that we don't understand, it has all those benefits. So it's really very beneficial to have those little greens in your diet as well. They also contain beta-carotene. And when you think about beta-carotene, carotenoids, you think about orange vegetables like sweet potatoes or, carrots, of course. But you may not know that if you took the chlorophyll out of the greens, they would actually look orange. We can't try it, unfortunately, but you have to take my word for it. They have a lot of benefits, and I'm going to walk you through some unique benefits of each of those little greens. Make sure, one tip that I'll give you is that you pick them organic, because one of the value of those little greens is they do chelate heavy metals. They chelate chemicals. It means they bind to them and help you excrete them. So the benefit of organic greens is that they have grown in soil that has been taken care of and has been clean. If you buy them and they're not organic, there is a higher risk that the soil had some heavy metals, and what do? They pull up those metals, and you're going to be eating more of them potentially. So pick them organic whenever you can. Now I'm going to introduce particular greens for you. Just give me a moment here. The first green I want to talk about is my favorite, cilantro. And so with cilantro, I have to be careful. If I cook it, if I prepare it for somebody, I put it on side, unless I know that you love cilantro too. Cilantro is a love or hate relationship. You either love it like me, or there's about 10% of population that absolutely detests it. And there's a reason. If you're one of them, to you, it tastes like soap. It literally does. Soap dirt. It's very foul. And it's understandable. So I want to first explain to you why it may taste off for you. So cilantro has a number of aldehydes, and they create that foul smell and taste. And your preference has a genetic component. It's not, like I said, it's not your opinion. It's not personal. And we have studies to show it. There is a single nucleotide polymorphism. We call it SNP. And I'll give you the number. Let me read it out. RS72921001. It lies within the cluster of olfactory receptor genes on chromosome 11. It sounds very, very complicated, but basically olfactory is your sense of smell. The brain picks it up. And so among these olfactory receptor genes is gene OR6A2. And this gene has a very high binding specificity for several of the aldehydes in cilantro. So if you have gene SNP, if you have changes in the enzymatic structure, you will not be able to get rid of that aldehyde smell and flavor. And that's what it is. You can't outgrow it. You're born with it. It's like you have blue eyes or brown eyes. You have to deal with it. And how do we amend it? When we cook for other people, we just make sure cilantro is on the side, or you have to ask your guests if they like cilantro. That's just what we have to do. Now, cilantro has a lot of benefits, and it's a very famous chelator. There's a lot of recipes. You can Google them for just olive oil and cilantro and garlic and salt, making kind of a pesto consistency that you can take orally to improve your detoxification, cleaning your blood. Like I mentioned about, it's a lot of benefits. It has traditional digestive aid benefits, anti-diabetic benefits, anti-inflammatory benefits, depending where you look. Antimicrobial properties have been studied, anti-anxiety action has been studied, and even lowering cholesterol. I'm really interested in the chelation and heavy metals and toxicity, just because it has such a profound effect on it. Did you also know that coriander seeds that you sometimes grind or you get in powder, that these are the seeds from the plant of cilantro? It's exactly the same plant. Let's move to my favorite dill weed. You see, in America, we forget how wonderful dill weed is. In Poland, I actually grew up with it. Interestingly, I never had cilantro in Poland. We didn't grow it, I think. I'm sure it's available now. So dill weed is just like the other greens, or the chlorophyll, or the detoxification benefits. Let me read you some of the benefits that have been well studied. Preventing flatulence, digestive disturbance. It has sedative properties, antimicrobial, anti-cancer, promotes detoxification in the liver, of course, because of the chlorophyll, because it's green. This is especially due to monoterpene, one of its flavonoids, which activates a very famous enzyme, which is called glutathione S transferase. It's one of those enzymes that we don't hear about, but it's instrumental in detoxification pathways in your body. So as a result, dill actually has been called a chemoprotective food. It can help you neutralize smoke, carcinogens in smoke from the cigarette, in smoke from charcoal grill, smoke from trash incinerators. Some people live next to them. What do? Well, you just make sure you have dill weed in your diet. The next one that I really like is parsley. And parsley in our culture here in America is just, you know, you sprinkle it as to look pretty. It's not really used in recipes too much, and it's a shame. So I want to bring it back into your kitchen. It has a whole list, impressive list of benefits. Of course, the high chlorophyll, carotenoids, as we discussed. It is fantastic for people with mild iron anemia or iron anemia because it has a lot of iron. It also has vitamin C. And you know, iron is better absorbed in presence of vitamin C as well. It has a lot of minerals, vitamins. It has the ability in studies, it has shown the ability to inhibit cancer-causing properties of fried foods, especially because of the chlorophyll, vitamin C, its flavonoids, carotenoids, and volatile oil compounds. So, you know, if you have to have fried foods, could you have a big salad with a lot of chopped parsley on a side? That would really help you. Or throw parsley into the soup. So you see, if it's already chopped, the chance of just grabbing it and sprinkling it into your food is very high. Okay. Again, as I said at the end, I will tell you more about some hints and tips, how to cook, how to prepare, how to use, enjoy, and store them properly so you don't have to throw them away, and how not to forget about them. The last of the 4 superheroes in my kitchen is green onion. This is really what you have to do. If you don't do this, you're going to throw it away. It's going to wilt. I'm just telling you, this is what it is. So it's very reputable for a different reason from the other 3, just because it's part of the allium family. Allium is garlic family, and if you've seen any of my posts, if you've read any of my texts about detoxification, if you've taken my detox program already, you know that I push heavily to have you eat from the garlic family. And this is one of the members. We really don't eat enough of it. And you can use it in place of onion, actually. So the allium family is particularly high in sulfuric compounds. And they're incredibly important to run your detox pathways in a healthy way. And of course, it's antimicrobial, it's antifungal also. Interestingly, it's been shown to alleviate chest and heart pain. And it promotes urination and sweating if you eat a lot of it. And it does support digestion just like all the other greens. Of course, minerals, vitamins, all that, flavonoids, volatile oil compounds, all is the same. So now we're going to talk about not wasting them. Let me see here. Welcome back. So now you've done the shopping. You've listened to my first video. You got excited. You got maybe 3 or 2 out of the 4 greens. So now what do we do with it? Because traditionally, you know, you probably heard that you're supposed to wrap the green into the paper towel, put it in a Ziploc bag with little holes, or paper, not paper, just regular shopping bag where you bought them with little holes punched in it, keep it in the crisper, and that's going to be okay. The problem with it is that days go by, the crisper is like the darkest, deepest, furthest away part of the fridge, and what happens is it becomes a UFO, unidentified food object, and before you know it, when you actually are ready to use your cilantro or parsley, you take it out and it's wilted and slimy. You know, what do? Throw it away. It has happened to me, as much as I love them. So the only solution for it is really you buy them. I bought them yesterday, and I washed them, tapped them very well with a dry towel, paper towel, to get as much moisture from the rinsing as possible. And then I chopped them really finely, like you can see. There's the cilantro, and then there's the green onion, and then the parsley. I would do exactly the same with the cilantro. Did I call this cilantro? This is dill weed. You have to forgive me. I'm just having fun. So I actually try not to discard the stems or the very tops of the green onions. If you are planning to make a soup stock or soup, you can throw them and make a soup stock. If you are a juicer, if you are a fan of juicing and use a juicer, you can actually use the parsley stems and even the whole parsley as part of the juice. Very beneficial, as you already learned. You know why. So that's what I would do, and I keep them in glass containers. I don't use plastic personally. And the very important thing for you to do is once you have them ready to put in the storage, put them in the fridge where you can see them. Put them at the very front, so you have to see them when you open the fridge. They're right there in your face. So the chance of you of grabbing it, opening it, and throwing it right into something that you're cooking are much higher. Don't let them become UFOs in your fridge. All right, so moving on. I have a couple of tips from my kitchen, and there's many more below in the text below this video. Well, one thing that I like to do, and I always demonstrate it for my detox group when I teach the 30-day detox program, when we have lunch, I actually have a serving bowl and the soup right in it, and I'm ready to eat my lunch. I have my spoon, I have my soup, it's steeping hot, I'm ready to eat. What I will do is I will put a generous handful of my green, whatever it is. The green onion may be a little too strong, but cilantro, if you like it and you don't detest it. Parsley is not so oppressive, so it doesn't have a very strong flavor. And dill is phenomenal for any soup, so I just throw it in there. I don't even cook it. Alternatively, you can cook the grains. You can throw, if I have a pot, I can throw 2 big handfuls, maybe half a cup or maybe even 1 cup, whatever I feel is appropriate for the particular soup, of one of those grains towards the end of cooking. So they're still bright green, they don't become brown and overcooked. Dill weed is phenomenal, for example, for soups. I grew up with them, so we had a lot of split pea soup or beetroot soup, and they're wonderful with dill. It just breaks them up. My mother's favorite recipe for a raw salad with lettuce is to use dill weed as part of it and kind of knead the whole lettuce salad with her fingers and kind of break the cell walls of the lettuce and the cucumbers or whatever else you throw in there. And if the dill weed is in it, it just smells like spring, smells heavenly, and tastes great. Of course, cilantro is great in any Indian recipe, in any salsa recipe, any lentil stew, any bean soup. Green onions you can use in a variety of ways. Again, you have a whole list of ideas in the write-up below. Parsley, there's a Mediterranean recipe of tabbouleh that is basically made of parsley, not as a garnish, but as a major ingredient. You have a lot of it in it. And if you type in tabbouleh into Google, you can find a lot of recipes. Except tabbouleh uses cracked wheat, and you can easily replace it with quinoa. I actually use it all the time. The bottom line is that those little greens are very powerful. They help you detox. They clean your blood. They have a lot of chlorophyll. They've been pretty well researched. They've been around for a long time, and you can easily preserve them, throw them into cooking, throw them into a soup, throw them into a salad. Easy to do. You don't have to let them wilt. And I hope you will enjoy it and reap benefits from all those little greens. Thanks for watching. Bye.